It seems like bro culture is making a huge comeback, and alongside the seemingly revival era for bro culture is this deluge of fear mongering and concern trolling headlines about toxic masculinity. At the same time, this, I believe, started in the latter half of 2024 and has continued on to present day. And it prompted EV Magazine to publish this op-ed in defense of the bro archetype. In an age that loves to demonize masculinity in all forms, many like to view these men as villains, even though they're just living their lives and embracing their interests. How did this media archetype come to be, and has the demonization of this archetype contributed to our culture's ongoing mental health crisis? So there was a lot of conjecture on the comeback of bro culture, why it died in the first place. I think that Me Too had a lot to do with it. The on-campus, college campus rape culture discourse that came about in the mid-2010s was really what began the end of bro culture, but it's making a big comeback, and you can find it again on college campuses, in government institutions, in offices, on golf courses, and especially on the internet. And I've even seen the biggest sign of the revival of bro culture is the panic among Democrats about how to appeal to it. This was from the New York Times.
They cannot do it. It is impossible.
Gavin Newsom tries to understand bro culture. Will it change him in the process? The California governor has diagnosed one problem for Democrats: connecting with young men, and he sees his podcast as a way to address that. Other Democrats aren't so sure. And they've now hired this woman, Olivia Juliana, to help remedy this crisis of masculinity.
Big problem for them.
The left. And if they see the revival of bro culture as something that they need to address, I think that's proof enough that it's happening. But back in 2013, NPR attempted to define bro culture back in its heyday, and they listed 4 archetypes and this complex Venn diagram. So there were the jockish bros, an example being Tim Tebow, the doodly bros.
Tim Tebow?
He was listed here, and this was back in 2013. It was a much different time. There was the doodly bro, Andy Samberg, then a preppy bro, Armie Hammer, then the stoner bro, James Franco. They also list Channing Tatum, Ashton Kutcher, Ben Affleck, Brody Jenner, Will Smith in Independence Day, Matthew McConaughey.
He was in the military.
There are tons of examples.
He was a fighter pilot.
But then if we think about more contemporary examples, I'm thinking of Jake and Logan Paul for sure. I'm thinking of Morgan Wallen, a lot of country stars like Zach Bryan.
It's literally just a bunch of different types of guys. It's
yeah, but
there is no like unless you are wearing a dress or defer to women, you're a bro then.
What differentiates them and what is common among all of them is just that they don't seem to be ashamed of being male.
They're not self-hating enough.
And that is an exception to the rule these days, unfortunately. So that's why it's becoming more popular. And the rise of Barstool Sports in the 2010s was a huge reason for that. And now Dave Portnoy seems to be doing everything he can to sink their brand value. But, you know, I also saw Nicolas Cage recently promoting his new movie called The Surfer, and he was addressing its commentary on modern masculinity and toxic bro culture and how that inspired the film. There are countless headlines.
Just go watch Point Break
if you just look up bro culture, you come across an insane number of headlines that are concern trolling about what this could do to young men if it makes a comeback.
The Culture Monkey article is particularly insulting.
Yeah, the journalist class is terrified of bro culture making a comeback and becoming mainstream again in multiple different industries and sectors of society, including academia, but also the tech industry. But here were some of them that I came across that just made me laugh.
Do you have any sense why they feel like it's a zero-sum game?
Why they feel like the bros have to be annihilated.
Yeah, because it's clear like you can't. I mean, I guess I think that it would probably have something to do with people saying, like, hey, you know, this is men and women aren't different. So I always thought that was kind of part of why, but
I think that the sheer like human spirit that they need to stamp out, it's like something that really you cannot fight against it. You can't formulate an argument against it. So they have to instead fearmonger about leading to, whether this is inciting, you know, incel violence, or is this radicalizing people? Is this like a form of stochastic terrorism? Like that, you have to use those arguments.
Is that real nowadays? I'm not sure if stochastic terrorism is real or not, because there was times where it was.
Well, the point
of
it is
times
that
it
real.
wasn't. But
yeah. There is an insidious tech bro culture in AI. The sector needs women. Even most men are turned off by bro culture. Bro culture, what it is and why it's still an issue. The rise and fall of the tech bro. The dark side of gym bro culture, body image issues, and bigorexia in teen boys, which is reverse anorexia. They have dysmorphia about being smaller than they actually are. Andrew Tate's new token is a reminder of crypto's bro problem. What is bro culture at work? Common signs
do they know
and
that
strategies.
you can just buy crypto and you don't have to be part of a culture. You can just, like, when you go to buy your Bitcoin, it doesn't have like a password and a big sign that says no girls allowed. It'll let you buy it.
The bro culture commentary was also at a peak during the election. The rise of bro culture and Trump's anti-immigrant rhetoric. Bro culture, how gender is defining the U.S. election. Infantile, petulant masculinity, Trump aims low in an appeal for American male bro voters. And then there's also the tech bro culture. Is it driving away talent? The rise of Trump bros and why some Gen Z men are shifting right. The triumph of bro culture is uglier than we can imagine. ESPN must choose bro culture or uplifting women's sports. Toxic bro culture driving Gen Z women off of social media. The bro culture has prevailed. Then ex-Social Security chief, this is from just in April this year, slams Silicon Valley bro culture at Doge. So it's just a never-ending avalanche of concern trolling headlines about the dangers of bro culture, and now there are countless niche labels for bros based on their hobbies or interests or audiences. So I found an exhaustive list of the types of bros from my deep dive into this that includes streamer bros. I guess that would include us.
Oh,
Does
boy.
that make you a streamer bro?
That might include Tim, maybe.
Okay.
Probably Tim.
Yeah. Fitness / gym bros who make content about that type of thing for self-improvement.
Wait, so, okay. Do they identify whether...
Ashton Hall is probably that.
So it's bad to be a fitness bro, but you can be a fitness hoe.
Yeah.
And...
Well, you
it's
can be
okay
anything
to be
hoe.
anything hoe,
Any
but not
female thing
bro.
is fine.
Okay.
Like all the women have to endorse and support and cheer for you and
The
stuff.
journalists are saying it's hoes before bros. There are also debate bros. I'm assuming that
Ben Shapiro. Would he be a debate
maybe
bro?
Ben Shapiro is a debate bro, but also maybe Dean
Destiny
Withers
would
or
be a debate bro.
Destiny or Harry Sisson. These are debate bros on the left. Then tech bros, of course, are maligned among the single San Francisco women, and that would include the infamous pharma bro Martin Shkreli, crypto bro.
Yeah.
They're also,
somebody did make a point earlier. They said that's not true about crypto, because if you're a crypto bro, you have to talk about your crypto portfolio.
Well, I think the stereotype about crypto bros is that they talk about crypto constantly but don't actually understand anything about crypto or finance in general. Then there are conservative bros, Trump bros, who formerly were called barstool conservatives. Frat bros, of course, is like the oldest archetype.
I can't believe we're still rattling
There
off
are more.
different
Do
types
they
of
ever
bros.
list any type of man that is not a bro? Do they
It's
give you
just
the anti-bro?
Any man can have an interest or a hobby or a worldview, and you can use that as a tagline to call him a bro,
Yeah.
and you can then fear-monger or concern troll about it.
Let me just.
That's the point. But I want to get through the list. There are also evangelical bros, so youth ministers, podcast bros, which kind of goes with streamer bros, but maybe
that's
not
also
the same exact
that's also
thing.
one that they say is white. Like
Yes.
it's only bad if you're a white podcast.
The guys in a room who all have the microphones that are supposed to be tabletop, but
hold
they
them,
hand
yeah.
it and they have it in their hand on their lap.
Yep.
Finance bros, 6'5", blue eyes, trust fund, and then beer bros who are really into craft IPAs.
We got a 20. It's funny because I would imagine that's the closest thing you can get to them to an acceptable bro, because he's over there listening to Stomp Clap and going to Thistle and Thorn.
Yes,
And that's
exactly.
about as inoffensive as they get.
We have another 20 from
Corey
where is
Anderson.
this?
Corey Anderson. What's up, man?
I was listening to Stain's album Dysfunction, and the lyrics from the song just go, "Such a cancer on the face of everything that's beautiful," made me think, why doesn't pop music have thought-provoking lyrics?
Maybe you just don't listen closely enough and you don't understand the third or fourth meaning.
You need to work on your media literacy. Corey.
There's are there media literacy bros? I know for a fact
for sure.
there are media literacy bros.
Definitely A24 bros.
Yes.
There are the indie bros. There are so many different kinds. It's hard to keep track.
Yeah.
But it goes all in this it's like an ancestry.com tree, like which bro culture birthed the next one, and they're all derivative of the last. So I sent you this one about toxic bro culture that is thriving in work environments, even post Me Too and HR tyranny. They say bro culture at work refers to a workplace environment dominated by a specific stereotypically masculine social dynamic, characterized by a preference for traditionally male behaviors and interests, which can include aggressive competitiveness, excessive socializing centered around drinking, spending time partying, and a focus on sports or other male activities.
Go watch the movie Boiler Room or Wolf of Wall Street if you want to see what they're thinking
Classic
of
bro movie.
when they think of these things.
But there are countless others like Borat, you know.
the original. Well,
I want to. We have to
movies
read the,
loved by bros, but also
all
movies
of
about
all
bros.
the Happy Gilmore stuff, like all of your Adam Sandler
It's when
stuff.
they talk about Norman Bates, or when they talk about Patrick Bateman, and they're like, people idolize him.
Right, yeah,
And you're
exactly.
like, or they do that with Homelander, where they get really upset that people think Homelander is cool, but they don't like Homelander or think that he's a good guy. They just think that the bad guy is a great character. They would classify anybody that likes him as a bro.
We have another 20 from Isaac Cervantes III. So my buddy's ashes are ready for pickup today. 10 was the best friend I never knew and never knew I needed. Someone tell me dogs aren't just fleshed out I don't know what that is.
Tokamon? I don't know.
I don't know what that means. But I'm sorry for your loss.
Sorry for your loss. Sorry for your loss. You have to finish the last two paragraphs because it gets so much worse there.
In the
so it says a survey by PwC revealed that women are more likely to be ignored by their managers than men. Just 26% of women felt that they could ask for a promotion compared to 34% of men. In such environments, camaraderie is often built among young stonerish bros through these shared interests, leading to a club-like atmosphere that can be exclusive and unwelcoming to those who do not fit into this mold. It is more prominent in certain industries like tech. As somebody who never fit into any type of work mold any job that I ever had, I never cared nor really thought much about whether I fit in with my other employees. The only thing worse would be if some HR manager tried to wrangle everybody together and tell them, you need to treat him just like that is the most embarrassing prospect I could ever think of. And if you think that's a good idea, you will never survive in the real world.
Yeah, it's like on the playground when the teacher is forcing everyone to get along. Yeah. You're actually just handicapping people socially.
Bro culture values can have significant negative impacts on workplace diversity and inclusion. Women and non-binary individuals and even men who do not subscribe to these stereotypical behaviors may feel marginalized or excluded. You're
not allowed to be yourself. Because someone else might take offense at how you behave.
It is fantastic to not care whether you are included or not. It's actually a good thing. It is a sign of inner strength that you do not need to fit in with everybody else. That's actually what used to make certain aspects of left liberalism cool, which is that at a time where it wasn't the dominant culture, you didn't care whether you fit in or not. Now they're like, not only do I not fit in, but you have to let me fit in with you, and then they expect you to not get made fun of for that.
You have to make believe
Yeah.
that I fit in.
That's embarrassing. Like,
well, not caring about fitting in is not a perspective that comes naturally to the vast majority of people, but especially women who thrive the most in group environments. And that's probably why the hallmarks of bro culture include athleticism and fierce competition, even if it's for something stupid like how many hot dogs you can eat in 5 minutes. And, you know, there's also the traits of just celebrating youth and boisterousness and brashness and being offensive. There's also, of course, if you're talking about frat bros and also, you know, finance and tech bros, the culture of hedonism, be it sexual hedonism or alcohol or drugs. And I understand why people feel this is inappropriate in a work environment, but I think that a lot of these people who are talking about toxic bro culture at work, in college campuses, in the government, whatever, they're imagining this maniacal villain in their mind, and it's scarier than reality. There's creating this bro boogeyman.
I saw this is a great comment from Comatose. It says, bro culture is building a sense of community based on authenticity and mutual respect. We can't have that.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm as anti-Greek life as you can get, to be honest, but I still don't see the cause for panic that these journalists see.
Yeah.
Like, I am very against the dominant, like, frat culture where there's the insane psychotic hazing rituals. I met a guy who went to a very old university, and he said to me that he was the keeper of rituals for his frat. And he was graduated for a couple years by that point, but he told me that he was not allowed to explain any of their rituals or hazings to me because he was sworn to secrecy, like basically by blood, you know, and like it's very fear oriented.
He's like,
but
sorry
also,
if I take my oath seriously.
it's also like kind of homoerotic, like yeah, you know, the paddles and stuff like that. There are some horror stories that you hear about. But yeah, I think that the revival of bro culture overall is actually a reason to be optimistic for the future, and especially for Gen Z men who are statistically shifting closer to the right and adopting more conservative values.
Instead of disliking somebody else for the culture around their friends and interests, it would be better for you, it would be more prudent to create your own culture around your own interests. You know, if that means being a dork, then be a dork.
HR departments and college campuses and the Me Too movement and the Democrat Party and censorship on social media, all of these things worked together to ostracize and basically stamp out bro culture as we knew it in the early 2010s. And I think it did actually die for a long time, but it's coming back. There's nothing you can do to stop it. It's a force of nature.
Yeah, it's part of, you know, their biology.
Yeah.
You can't suppress it forever.
Exactly.
Right. As a short man, I demand that everybody kind of walk like low to the ground so that I do not feel hard up for being such a short person. That's the only thing that you can do. It's only fair.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.